The name Jamie Vardy is one of the most common words in the day for me now. My name's Chapman, I'm from Leicester. People probably know me best as the Jamie Vardy Lookalike or doppelganger or double or whatever that people use as the term for a double. When Jamie Vardy signed for the club, for Leicester, a few people already spotted the resemblance of me and him, but he actually had a kind of a skinhead when he came in to Leicester. And this is just me. I've not changed the way this is me. I ain't going to change either, And I think it just to a point where, like, when Leicester won the Premier League, obviously that's when it really hit home. Someone says you should do something like a bit of banter or something because you look like him so much, it's unreal. So I thought, okay, I'll see what I can do. So I literally wrapped my arm in a cast for a laugh with my mates, and went out on a night out, and that was it. People just went, "Are you Jamie Vardy?" Because I'd seen the cast first. I went in kit just in a normal casual clothing out on a night out, and it just really carried on from then on. The story of where it went, eventually I was outside the ground doing an interview with Sky Sports, and I think it was probably 2 days before I was on Soccer AM doing a bit of a stint as a double, and I think Leicester obviously must have seen this. It got around on social media quite a lot. Here I am, scheduled for an interview outside the ground because we'd won the league, and the coach pulls up from the training ground, all banging on the windows and stuff, and Ranieri's like, "Come on, Jamie," pulls me on, and it was just absolutely insane. It's up there as one of the best moments of my life, apart from having my kids, of course. Yeah, I'd redo it all again. I think when it first started, especially with social media, it was a bit of banter, it was a bit of fun, it was a little. I enjoyed it. It was good fun, Did quite a couple of funny gigs before it really went mental, and then the negativity came from taking on an agent. He catapulted it into something toxic, to be honest. I think he created a lot of that using a lot of accounts that he ran on social media. Kind of pissed them off as well, the Vardys. He did that, got that as a story sold to the newspapers, the Sun, and a lot of people, they don't believe a lot of articles you read, but they always take the headline of an article and then turn it into something for themselves to use online, because people can do this online. Gets on your nerves, but that's the way the world is now. Social media is a platform for everything from positive to negative as well. The thing is, he's actually a convicted fraudster, an ex-con for fraud. He's also done so many horrible things to other people as well in the business, like George Best's son, Callum Best, sold stories on him. Paul Gascoigne, he pretended that he managed him while he was managing me. He sort of told me all stories and stuff. He had photos with him and stuff. But what he really did, he just met him at some barbers and ended up selling some stories on him. The guy was toxic from the start, but I was so up here with what was going on with Leicester, I dropped the ball on what he was doing. I gave my social media to him, gave my Twitter, which I never really used before all this. I didn't really understand what Twitter was. Instagram again, same thing. I just used to just post the odd photo of me as a family guy, So I never really used Insta for social media that it is today, influencing and stuff. So I gave him access to that as well. And I'll be honest with you, he used that to his own gain. He earned thousands through all sorts of different companies, from free clothing to whatever. He was messaging all sorts of stuff. Go back through my DMs, it's unbelievable the amount of companies he messaged back and forth. And granted, he used my social media to piss the Jamie Vardy and Rebecca off, and sold that, like I say, as a story, screenshotted the blocked, and as you know, it went out. It was a national press story, just before the Euros.
Chapman?
Yes.
Am I not allowed to block anyone?
But there is story in English.
There's a lot of people blocked on my Twitter for various reasons, which I don't need to go into.
Thank you very much.
It's a shame. It's just the way it's gone, you know. And I can't change that. I can't change that. They probably don't hate me physically in the real world, but social media, digital world is the real world, and they apparently hate me on social media, which they don't. They just block me because obviously he must have done something to piss them off. I can't tell you what that is. I have no way of getting to them. I've got no way of getting in touch to fix things. It was 2 to 3 months of sort of doing like lookalike in this industry that it's hard to explain. If you're not in it, you don't know it. But I was being booked for all sorts of stuff, you know, football commercials, and I was going abroad doing like commercials for like training systems and stuff. What the hell, you know, going on TV shows and Channel 4 and whatever. But without getting any payment, all these invoices were coming through. I wasn't getting any money for it. I was like, what's going on? You know, I'd not left my job, but I took a career break, so to speak. I just literally took all my holidays out for the whole year, as long as I could go for Royal Mail. And it was getting to a point where there was no money coming in. So something went right. So that's when I started having a look at this geezer, who he is, what he's doing, and the more I found about him, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So finding out that he'd stole 15k of his own grandparents and done time for that, it was just like, oh my god, it just got worse and worse. And then when I put things together and realised what he'd done, I thought, right, I need to get proof that he's done this. So I got access to all of his emails. Because the idiot didn't register the domain in his name, it was under the Lookalikes agency, which is a real agency, by the way, run by some other guy called Andy Harmer. And that's how he sort of got in. He messaged me himself through Twitter saying that he was the Lookalikes owner, representative, blah, blah, blah. But he weren't. It was just all sort of lies. Just got some dodgy business cards from one of them online stores that you can order them for. And yeah, man, just damaged my whole rep. And I've struggled to get that back ever since online. I get called all sorts of stuff, man. The negative impact that he's created, I get I get paedophile, all these crap comments that you see online, that's what I get. It's horrible. It's horrible. I've had it physically as well. In the park with my son at the time, he was like 4 years old. A guy came up to me and goes, what are you doing in the park, you nonce? He said that to me physically while I was with my lad. It's not just the digital space, it's affecting me physically as well. You've just seen us walk in, how many people have gone, it's far there. It happens all the time, every day, especially because of the amount of people that I see on the post. It's quite mad. The name Jamie Vardy is one of the most common words in the day for me now. It's almost like hello, you know? And I don't roll my eyes because I can't, because I know what it is. I can't get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of it. It happened, you know, but I don't know, it's almost like it's just part of routine of my life now. Yeah. It's got to be, probably obviously being dragged on the bus, it's got to be up there as the biggest positive, but maybe going to the Euros 2016, newspapers sort of wanted me to go out there, so they paid for tickets and stuff to go out there and pay me for the day, blah blah blah. I didn't get the money, he did, but the experience was insane. We had a VIP ticket, wore a suit because you have to, because you've got to go into the, you know, the suites. And here I am walking towards the ground with, who was it at the time? I think it was Dream Team. I think it was the Sunderland's Dream Team crew. And the crowd literally swamped me and picked me up and did the whole Jamie Vardy chant. Vardy's on fire. You know, your defence is terrified. Beers flying everywhere. Thousands of England fans just carried me towards the game. One thing I've got to say is, if you're dropped in the media like I was, because it was an overnight thing like that, and then once it's all done and dusted and you're ridiculed for doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, just ignore the haters and people that troll you and just enjoy what actually is happening in your life. Because I took too much of it on board and it took me to a dark place that I unfortunately still go to sometimes. And you know, mental health is a hard thing to get through. And if you do get dropped in the ocean in the media, make sure you don't just grab any agent, have a look at what's about first, and you know, really do some background checks on people. You know, just take one step back and go, hang on, let's do this properly, because I wish I did. I really do. Things would be different. Thank you.